Well, got to dismiss that message. Okay. Welcome everyone to a journey down the Danube, the Hungary Roadshow for Budapest. My name is Chris Shipman. I'm on the board of directors of Fort Worth Sister Cities International. I'm currently the Budapest Hungary chair. So welcome to our virtual roadshow. Again, we call it the Journey Down the Danube. So every month in 2022, we're featuring the culture and history and customs of one of our 9 sister cities in the form of a virtual roadshow. We're going to be doing one every month for the rest of the year, so stay tuned each month for more cultural highlights. So Budapest, as you may or may not know, is Fort Worth's 4th sister city and has been a sister city with Fort Worth since 1990. So tonight we've got a variety of different things to show you. We've got a couple of wonderful presentations from students, and we've got some videos about some of our Hungarian friends' traditions. But first off, I want to recognize Jane Card and Nicole Erickson. They were selected and volunteered to lead a group of students to Budapest, Hungary this summer, and they helped organize the presentations today, and they were developed by the students and the students who were selected to go on the trip. Unfortunately, this year's trip to Budapest is unable to proceed this summer, but we want to thank everyone here today and for the opportunity to teach a little bit more about our sister city. I also want to recognize our DFW Metroplex Magyars Cultural Circle. They are a group of Hungarian expatriates and Hungary enthusiasts living here in the DFW area. And the group is dedicated to all things Hungary. And they're represented by Eva Belushka, who's here with us today. And we're gonna talk a little bit more about what we just talked about, the Mialish, towards the end of our hour. We're gonna have a little introduction for it and an invitation for you all. Our first presentation is by Eileen, a student at the World Language Institute, who's going to teach us about the architecture of Budapest. Eileen couldn't be here today, but recorded her presentation ahead of time. And so whenever you're ready, Danielle, to let that video rip, let's get started.
Good afternoon. My name is Eileen Santillan, and I did some research about Hungary's architecture. Some things to know is that the capital of Hungary, which was Budapest, was built in many different architectural styles that I will show in a few seconds, and the city was rebuilt many times due to world wars and the revolution and other things. These are the 5 different styles of architecture that you can see all over Hungary. The eclectic style, which is the most used style downtown, and it was the most popular style during the 19th century. And the Baroque style, which is the second most popular style, and it is very unique due to its different shapes of windows, doors, roofs. And the Gothic style, which many churches and buildings are built in the Gothic style, and this is a very old style dating back to medieval times. And the Soviet style. Budapest is considered the classic Eastern European city because of this style, which this style is from the 60s to the 70s, and this has been a very impactful era in the history of Hungary. It had a great impact on its architecture and a style. This style is a style invented by Russia, very simple, cube, and easy. And the modern style that we see nowadays is the buildings are and architecture is built in a modern style, and the city is becoming a modern city with a contemporary architecture. And this is like an iconic building, the House of Parliament on the banks of the Danube River. And this building has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. And this is the Leo Market, which is located in Budapest. And I found this building very unique because of all the different colors and shapes that it has. And this is the House of Music, which is also located in Budapest, and it is located in the Budapest Park, and it is a new cultural landmark dedicated to music designed by the Japanese. And this is the Sanchi chain bridge, which was construction started in 1840 and ended in 1849. And this bridge spans over the Danube River, which connects Buda and Pest, and it creates Budapest. And this is the Heroes Square Millennium Monument, which construction began in 1896, and it was built to commemorate the 1000th anniversary of the Hungarian conquest of the Carpathian Basin.
All right. Thanks so much to Eileen for putting that interesting video together. I wanted to see more. Those are great. All right. Next, we're going to take a look at an example of some Hungarian folk dance. And this is from the Csardas dancers of Austin. The Csardas is regarded as the most important Hungarian folk dance. It's a newer style of dance developed in the 18th and 19th centuries. It features Hungarian embroidered costumes and really nice energetic music. From the men's intricate boot slapping dances to the ancient women's circle dances, Csardas demonstrates the infectious exuberance of the Hungarian folk dancing still celebrated in villages around Hungary. So thank you so much for the Csardas dancers of Austin for sharing this with us today. All right. Ava, thanks for helping us arrange for that. Any feedback on, any comments, feedback on that so far? All right, we're moving right along. We're actually a bit ahead of schedule. Evan, you're up next. So next to present, we have Evan. He's from All Saints Episcopal High School, and he's going to teach us a little bit about Hungarian politics.
Is the screen share working correctly?
It is going. Yes, we can see your screen.
So my task was to cover Hungarian politics and current situation on climate change. So just going to go over that real quick. So they have their prime minister is Viktor Orban. He's been in office since 2010. He's a chairman of the Fidesz party, I believe you say it. He's also the founding member, and he's on his fourth consecutive term as prime minister. It's basically their equivalent of president. So below him, you have you have a prime minister and two deputy prime ministers. So these are two deputy prime ministers. They're kind of like a vice president, and they assist Viktor Orban with his duties. So there are a couple of like sub-ministries beneath them. So most of them are pretty self-explanatory. You have the Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Human Resources, Ministry of the Interior, Ministry of National Development, Ministry for the National Economy, the Ministry for the Public Administration and Justice, and the Ministry of Rural Development. Hungary is a part of the European Union, and they're fairly involved. So it's in an economic and political partnership with 27 other countries, and it's a fairly active. So Hungarians went to the polls in April of this year to elect members of parliament to the National Assembly. So the Fidesz party, that's Viktor Orban's party, they've been in the National Assembly as a dominant party for quite some time, 12 years. Hungary's response to the war in Ukraine, they've taken over 200,000 Ukrainian refugees, which is a step away from what you usually do because they've been more traditionally anti-refugee. So Hungary and climate change. So Hungary has set a climate neutrality to go into law, and they want to be. Their goal is to be climate neutral by 2050. This is in line with most of the other EU countries, but they haven't really taken enough significant action to make them get there by 2050. Just really a few small steps. So the climate energy minister is Peter. I'm not going to try to say that. So his goal is to reduce Hungarian emissions while growing the economy. Some of their climate challenges are drought. There's been deficit of rainfall in the past couple of years. So obviously this affects crops and animals. They also have a pretty big problem with pollution, especially in their two largest lakes. And that hurts the economy because it's a spot for animals and a big tourist attraction too. And Lake Velence, which is one of the biggest lakes in Hungary, has lost over half its water in the last 2 years. And thank you. Kozono, is that really how you say it? It's thank you in Hungarian. So yeah.
Köszönöm.
Ava, what did you say? What's the?
He said köszönöm. What he just said, köszönöm.
Yeah.
He was asking.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Any questions for Evan? Comments? Thank you very much, Evan. That was a nice presentation. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, so like many here in the United States, Hungarians just celebrated Easter. In Hungarian folklore, Easter has been intertwined with many local traditions related to the arrival of spring, courting customs, health, and fertility. And one of the most important popular Hungarian Easter traditions is, and I'm going to ask you to help me out here, Ava, the kolkadás.
Locsolkodás. Locsolkodás.
Locsolkodás. There we go.
Like sprinkling. Watering
Loosely
somebody.
translated.
Loosely translated. Watering somebody.
Loosely translated as sprinkling the women folk. So this is pretty fun. So on Easter Monday, boys will sprinkle girls with water or perfume and recite a poem. And then the girls will offer them painted eggs, homemade treats, or maybe a shot of palinka in return. You'll see this demonstrated in the following clip with some other Easter traditions. This is fun. Stay tuned.
Húsvét másodnapja, gyönyörű kikelet, lágyszelek nyorgolnak kint a hegyek felett. A kis hajlékokban ébrednek a lelkek, nyoma sincs már a gyászos nagypénteknek. Miért hát ez öröm elárulom néktek, názáreti Jézus, kit megfeszítettek. Megfeszítettek és mi annak örömére, locsolóba jövünk minden esztendőbe.
Lelocsolják meg őket, ügyes van.
Gyöngy. Babát nem. Köszi Erzsébe. Köszi.
Köszi, Erzsébe. Most melyik közül elveszem? Köszönöm.
All right, that was pretty adorable. Those guys were lucky. They got eggs and looks like they got some palinka to go with it. So good stuff. That's a pretty fun tradition. Eva, do you have anything to add as a Hungarian expert about this tradition? Any comments you can share with us?
Nowadays, of course, that traditions are being kept and nurtured, mostly in the outskirts or in the small towns. And but it is widespread through not only Hungary, but all the regions that used to be Hungary and its Hungarian populated areas. They also have Easter as well. Easter is a very important holiday for the Hungarians, being Hungarians predominantly Catholic, and Easter is a very strong Catholic holiday. So
Of course.
Christmas and Easter are the two things that the Hungarians celebrate, and there are large variety of traditions and ways of making it not only meaningful for the soul but also fun for the people.
Very nice. Thank you. Yes, of course. It's as a Catholic country, that is probably one of the most, well, as you said, it's one of the most important high holidays of the year. And of course, we just got through the Easter season. But one of the things you might have seen in that video is the little girls handing out those beautiful eggs. And they're pretty special. And we're going to take a look at how they dye those eggs that those girls were handing out in the previous video. As you'll see, the traditional Hungarian Easter eggs are dyed using like actual onion skins and decorated using real flowers. It's really interesting. And we'll have one more video. Cue that up. Wow, that was amazing. Hey folks, that was our program. We went through it really quickly and we're quite a bit ahead of schedule. I want to thank everyone for coming, and it turns out you only spent 30 minutes of your evening instead of an hour with us. So thank you very much. We're really grateful that so many folks were able to attend. I'd like to encourage all of you who are present this evening who are not current members of the Member Circle of Giving to consider joining and supporting Fort Worth Sister Cities. And thank you to all the current members. Your support is helping us create a more connected and peaceful world. We have one of our leaders of the Fort Worth Sister Cities, our incoming chair, Greg Jackson, joined us today. He's a former Budapest city chair and probably did a much better job than I did as committee chair. So thank you, Greg, and congratulations on your upcoming chairmanship over the sister cities. We also have an very active Budapest Committee, which Ava really helps a lot out on. We encourage all of you to join us as we work together to support and create more exchanges and outreach programs. That's really one of the big things that we do here at Sister Cities is these outreach programs. Of course, it's been a tough couple of years with COVID, and now with strife in Europe, we're still working hard to get these exchanges running as soon as we can. We have a few cool things coming up in May that are really important to our local Hungarian community. In particular, like we talked about earlier, we have a couple of events coming up that we think you'll all be interested in. And the first is in Mialis. The Magyar Circle hosts this event every year. It's of course a May Day, a May Fest celebration. and it's coming up on May 7th. And this is Ava is this couldn't happen without Ava Belishka. Do you have anything to share about, or can you give us a little bit of insight for the whole group about this event, Ava?
Yes. Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you very well.
Yeah, you can hear me. That's okay. That's good. You don't need to see me, just hear me. Yes, this is a tradition that has been going on here, our tradition going on for several decades now. And it started out as a friendly get together, just like picnic and stuff like that. Everybody, the friends got together, and it started growing and growing. And now it became a celebration that we have always on the first Saturday of May. And last year, I think we had over 180 people, gathered. And this year so far, we're going to have at least, my estimation is that at least about 150. We do have some of our club members volunteer, and they do prepare the traditional guyash. And we also make the langos, like I said, that's similar to the funnel cake. And in addition to that, there is always a lot of other home-cooked meals brought by the guests. And we make it fun for the children by renting a bounce house. And we have usually some kind of a program going on. And if nothing else, we have a soccer team going, well, not a soccer match going on between the Dallas boys and the Fort Worth boys. It's a very friendly something. So it's a lot of fun if you want to be outside. It's outdoors currently on the grounds of the Tarrant County Cowboy Church, which is off of I-35 West and Keller Hicks Road. So you are welcome. You can find, like on the flyer, it says you can find more information and registration and the prices and the program, everything on our website, on the MMCC, the club's website, the magyarszó.net. The other event that we're going to have is on May 28th and 29th. We are going to be hosting a wonderful professional folk dance stream, and that is actually from Debrecen. Debrecen is another beautiful city in Hungary. And they are coming just to Texas, only to us, and they will give some beautiful presentations similar to what you have seen, in that video, but this is going to be live. So watch for the announcements. I try to post everything that's something related to this events on the the Budapest, Facebook page. Is that correct?
The Sister Cities, the Budapest
Sister Cities Budapest Committee's page, and you can get your information from there, and you can always call me or some other members, from the Hungarian group if you need any information, any advice or encouragement to join us. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ava. I can speak from firsthand experience. The Mialosh is a lot of fun. We had a really wonderful year last year. Again, the entire diplomatic corps from Hungary was there, including the ambassador. They won't be there this year, but it was quite a thrill and quite a treat to meet the entire diplomatic corps from Hungary. And it's just, man, the food is fantastic and everyone is welcome. So if you're even a little bit interested, I highly recommend everyone come out and enjoy the afternoon. Again, thank you, Ava. That the dance event later in the month should also be fantastic. All right, so we're going to wrap up, and what finally is, as a lot of you know, hopefully everyone knows, more than 10 million people have fled their homes in Ukraine to neighboring countries since the devastating war with Russia began. Hungary is one of those neighboring countries, neighbors Ukraine. And Budapest is asking for our help for the nearly 25,000 Ukrainian refugees who are expected in the Budapest area. So it's the Budapest city is asking for help. Through May 31st, Fort Worth Sister Cities is collecting donations to be sent to Budapest on behalf of Ukrainian refugees. All of the money, 100% of the funds collected, will be sent to Budapest Helps. It's an organization managed by the municipality of Budapest. And if you would like to donate, please follow the link. I believe we just posted that in the chat. So thank you.
Okay.
And hey, folks, if you enjoyed tonight's event, please make sure you stay tuned, since we will be featuring one of our sister cities every month. And next month, we're going to have a session about Toluca, Mexico. Unless there's any questions or comments, I'm going to wrap up. Does anyone have anything? Just going to hold it open for just a sec. Ava.
Yes, that drive that for the refugees in Budapest, is that on your website? Somewhere people can find that on your website? Or if I mention it, where should I send them?
Well, there's this, if you can grab that link and copy it onto your computer.
Okay.
But I'll ask that question to Danielle. Do we have a
yeah,
link
you can also find it on our website if you go to our blog. It's the first post.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
That's really important. Thank you.
Very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, for spending time with us tonight. We'll see you next time.
Thank you for the good job. Congratulations, young ladies and gentlemen, for your preparation and for your hard work to get together that information about our city. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you to Danielle. Thank you to Evan.
Thank you to Danielle and everyone. Yes.
And thank you to Eileen. Nice job. Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.